Amid the mystery surrounding the disappearance or death of as many as 11 U.S. scientists linked to nuclear and UFO research reportedly, the sudden deaths of paranormal content creator and UFO investigator has stirred a huge controversy. Serving as a director of an aerospace firm, reportedly, he was a major figure in the disclosure movement, which basically believes that the U.S. government should disclose secret information which it allegedly holds about UFOs and life beyond planet Earth. He regularly appeared on the History Channel's show Ancient Aliens, which explored conspiracy theories. He also authored multiple books which turned out to be bestsellers. As per the police, he called the police at around 10:44 a.m. local time. This was on the 20th of April, in which he allegedly exhibited signs of a mental health crisis. Upon arriving at his house in Colorado State's Boulder County, just after 11 a.m., he reportedly shot himself dead. The police also said that no other individuals were located inside or around his residence. However, concerns have been raised given his post 2 days before his death. In the social media post, he said, and I'm quoting, "I am not yet sure if I am doing a show tomorrow. I have had some very intense stuff going on this weekend," quote unquote. And it's worth noting here that the U.S. president has called for releasing government files related to UFOs. Last week, he said that many interesting documents have been uncovered so far.
Recently directed the Secretary of War. How good is Pete Hegseth doing? To begin releasing government files relating to UFOs and unexplained aerial phenomena. And I figured this was a good crowd because I know you people, you're really into that. I don't know if I am. So I'm pleased to report today, I thought I'd save it for this crowd because you're a little bit out there, you know, a little bit. That this process is well underway and we found many very interesting documents, I must say.
And his death comes amid U.S. agencies, including the FBI, the Department of War, NASA, reportedly intensifying their probe over the disappearance or death of 11 U.S. scientists allegedly linked to UFO research. The speculation is that they were targeted by America's enemies owing to their nature of work, allegedly, as per reports. In fact, this also includes a scientist attempting to develop anti-gravity technology. In 2022, she was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot injury. A year later, a NASA researcher was found dead. Come 2024, a NASA scientist died under mysterious circumstances. That's not all. In 2025, former Los Alamos employee went missing after leaving home. And this was followed by the disappearance of an aerospace executive who went on a hiking trip in California. Another Los Alamos employee also disappeared. Similarly, government contractor Stephen Garcia stepped out carrying a handgun and was never seen again. And in December 2025, a Novartis researcher, Jason Thomas, disappeared, with his body found later at a lake in March this year. In the same month, a nuclear physicist was shot dead at home. Additionally, an astrophysicist who collaborated with NASA was also reportedly killed. The last case of disappearance dating back to 27th of February, when the retired Air Force general vanished from his residence. His wife even admitted that he had a brief association with the UFO community. The diplomatic tightrope between Washington and New Delhi has just been set on fire, it seems. A single explosive phrase from Donald Trump has triggered a huge geopolitical storm, forcing a frantic cleanup operation from the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi. From hellhole insults to great country walkbacks, the foundations of this strategic partnership are facing a brutal stress test. Diplomacy is usually a game of nuances, but Donald Trump, it seems, prefers a sledgehammer. And the American president sent shockwaves through the Indo-Pacific after labeling India, quote-unquote, a hellhole on Truth Social. The remarks were originally made by the conservative author, Michael Savage, during a podcast. Savage claimed immigrants exploit US laws by arriving in their 9th month of pregnancy. Trump shared the transcript on Truth Social. I'm quoting, "A baby here becomes an instant citizen, and then they bring in their entire family from China or India or some other hellhole on the planet," quote unquote. In fact, the outburst was not isolated. It was tangled in a bizarre rant regarding birth certificate verification, a recurring theme in Trump's political theater, for a nation positioned as Washington's premier Democratic ally. The insult is a bitter pill to swallow. Here's the reaction from New Delhi. It's measured, but also firm. Listen in.
Donald Trump has endorsed a post. The post compares India and China as hellholes. What is the Indian government's response on the US president terming India in a derogatory manner?
We have seen some reports. That is where I leave it.
India's Ministry of External Affairs is maintaining a dignified distance from the ugly pot shot taken by Donald Trump. Sensing the deep rupture in Trump's rather unsavory comments may cause the US Embassy in New Delhi to scramble into damage control mode. The embassy, in fact, issued a rapid clarification, reaffirming the bond between the two sides. The US Embassy spokesperson said the president has said, "India is a great country with a very good friend of mine at the top," quote unquote. While New Delhi is maintaining a studied silence, the outrage is growing within the US former White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, tearing into Trump's comments. Emanuel slammed the rhetoric as a spit in the face of a critical partner, not mincing any words clearly. Emanuel, who served as the US ambassador to Japan, basically arguing that such vitriol sabotages years of bilateral progress.
What this president did, pull the THAAD anti-missile system out of South Korea, take the aircraft carrier that's the only permanent aircraft carrier based anywhere in the world outside of the United States is in Okinawa, Japan, pull it out, take the Marine unit out of Okinawa, take India, that's been a 30-year project of every Democrat-Republican administration to bring them closer to the U.S. orbit, and literally spit in their face as we did on this administration, or do what we're doing also while we're all side.
And this row also matters because the India-US relationship, it's no longer symbolic. It's central to trade, technology, defense. Stronger ties with New Delhi lying at the core of Washington's idea to balance China's rise. And the big question still is, will the US president come out and apologize himself instead of sending out a message via an embassy official to try and assuage the world's largest democracy? On to Islamabad now. What was being presented there as a high-stakes diplomatic event has translated into chaos for ordinary citizens there. Public anger mounting in Islamabad as the sweeping road closures, the heightened security measures because of the potential Iran-US talks continue to disrupt daily life there. Many residents questioning why they are bearing the cost of the tensions far beyond their borders. Major roads have been blocked without clear notice, turning daily commutes into endless delays, police barricades, checkpoints, movement curbs, disrupting everyday life. What is being called security preparation is being felt as a de facto shutdown there on the ground. And the impact is direct, it's also severe. Markets lying half empty. Small shopkeepers reporting sales have been impacted. They say the sales have collapsed. Daily wage workers saying they are sitting idle with no income, no support, no timeline for relief. Basically, for a population already struggling with inflation, the economic instability, this lockdown-style approach has only added pressure on households that are already on edge.
The war is between America, Israel, and Iran. Pakistan has closed all the roads here. The people are cursing and feel humiliated. We make this appeal to them. It is a request that they come and negotiate here. This matter will end, and the war and the problems will end. Look, all the shops have been closed. The people are sitting idle. There is inflation and poverty. This is our request, that they should come and negotiate. Pakistan should have mercy on the people.
The people are worried because of inflation. Now Trump is saying he is coming to Pakistan. Iran is saying that the Iranian president is coming to Pakistan. Let the negotiations end. Until they come to Pakistan, the poor and needy will continue to starve. They have no businesses and no work. Now, their only advice is to hold negotiations and completely end the problems. They are not coming. We are just hearing that they are coming today or tomorrow.
The thing is, Pakistan is trying to project itself as a regional mediator between Iran and the United States, but the ground reality is telling you a completely different story. The much talked about talks in Islamabad collapsed earlier without any breakthrough, with Trump unilaterally declaring a ceasefire extension and then thanking the Pakistani leadership for the extension. Following the announcement, Shehbaz Sharif was quick to thank Trump for accepting the request to extend the ceasefire and to allow ongoing diplomatic efforts to take their course. Washington has always pushed hard for Iran to abandon its nuclear program, a demand that Tehran has flatly rejected for years. No deal, no consensus, no progress. So then the obvious question is, what exactly is Pakistan mediating? Because the Strait of Hormuz remains closed by Iran, blocked by the Trump administration, with the global energy flow under strain as well. We just told you about what's happening at the Strait. The peace broker tag that Asim Munir is seeking looks less of a strategic diplomacy move and more like a political and image management attempt. And then there's the contradiction that cannot be ignored. On one hand, Islamabad claims to be facilitating regional peace talks. On the other hand, it has buttressed its ties with Riyadh, with the Defense Pact and deployment of troops and war machines in Saudi Arabia. For Tehran, this is not mediation. This is alignment disguised as diplomacy. No wonder it does not trust the process. So what remains of this so-called mediation by Pakistan? A capital under lockdown, a population paying the price, failed talks with no outcome so far, a diplomatic claim that does not match the reality on the ground.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.